Even if you reach out to help someone, if that person isn't truly willing to change, your help will be useless. It will only drain your time and energy. In Stoicism, there's an important rule. Say no to these people. But it's not just any no. This no is a sign of discipline, protecting your inner peace and seeking relationships and decisions that nurture your spirit. Stoicism gives us the courage and wisdom to set boundaries and say no to those who threaten our emotional balance. This journey will lead you to a greater respect for yourself, authenticity, and self-awareness. Epictetus said that what affects our emotions is not the events themselves, but how we respond to them. Your commitment to helping others is something rare these days. However, it's essential to realize that sometimes, no matter how good your intentions are, the other person may not be ready to change. Before you spend your energy on situations that have no solution, stay with us in this video. We will show clear signs of when you should say no to avoid frustration. We will talk about 9 types of people who, for different reasons, don't want your help and usually need to face their problems alone. Before we move on to the first type, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss useful content. Number 1, people stuck in their own illusions. Some people create stories in their own heads and believe them, escaping from reality and the self-awareness that Stoicism promotes. They sweep their problems under the rug. Stoics teach that growth comes from recognizing our mistakes. The biggest challenge with these people is that they believe so strongly in the stories they create that they can't see reality clearly. They don't understand that our emotions can distort what we see. These people often don't intend to hurt anyone. They are trapped in a cycle of self-deception, usually caused by childhood traumas. These traumas lead them to create a comfortable version of reality. Helping them is difficult because they build a mental barrier. You may try to help, but you will just exhaust yourself. They will only change when they recognize for themselves that they are wrong, and sometimes that may require the help of a professional. This behavior resembles today's political debates, where people hold on to their opinions and ignore any opposing arguments, insisting that they are right at all costs. Number 2, opportunists. Having empathy and understanding the emotions of others is a commendable quality. Stoics highly valued empathy, which is feeling what others feel without judgment. However, it's essential to be cautious of those who take advantage of your generosity. Some people see empathy as weakness and pretend to be your friends just to take advantage of you. How can we identify them? Pay attention to their behavior. A true friend asks for help when they genuinely need it. In contrast, opportunists always ask for favors for things they could do themselves. They know how to manipulate your feelings, starting with compliments like, "You're such a great friend. Can you do this for me?" It's normal to ask for help occasionally, but these people make it a habit even when they could manage on their own. They don't value your time. These individuals are draining your energy, which you could use for yourself. Our recommendation is to distance yourself from them and not feel guilty about it. Remember that taking care of yourself should be your top priority. Number 3, selfish people. Some people are so focused on themselves that they believe everything revolves around them. For example, if you mention that you're frustrated with traffic, they dismiss it because they haven't experienced the same situation. When you share an accomplishment, like a new job, they can turn the conversation back to their problems at work. These people make everything about themselves. It seems like they steal your joy and replace it with their worries. Do you know someone like that? Someone who always wants to be the center of attention, whether in good or bad times. If you try to help someone improve, but that person isn't willing to change, your effort will be in vain. It may be best to distance yourself from these individuals, especially those who never admit their mistakes. They struggle to acknowledge when they're wrong, something Stoics considered essential. They prefer to blame others or luck instead of reflecting on their actions. If you think you can teach them to be humble, you might be wasting your time. These people tend to complain and try to bring down those around them. The best option may be to step away. Number 4, the importance of setting boundaries. In Stoicism, we learn to recognize and establish healthy boundaries in our relationships. This means identifying people whose behaviors are harmful or toxic. Saying no to these individuals is an act of self-discipline and protection of our emotional well-being. These people may often try to take advantage of us, act manipulatively, be negative, and end up draining our energy or disrespecting our limits. Saying no isn't about rejecting them aggressively. It's about protecting our peace and emotional integrity. Stoicism teaches us that our time and energy are precious and limited resources. Allowing toxic people to occupy these spaces can prevent us from investing in relationships and activities that bring us more meaning and growth. Saying no to these individuals is an act of self-respect and care for our mental health. When we choose to say no, we are applying one of the main Stoic teachings, to focus only on what is under our control, which means our decisions and actions. This empowers us to seek healthier relationships and maintain inner calm, following the path of wisdom and discipline that Stoicism proposes. Therefore, always refuse those who affect your emotional well-being and seek relationships that encourage your growth and happiness. Number 5, people who don't plan for the future. It's tough to watch someone you care about not make the most of their potential, and even harder when you realize you can't change that. It becomes even more frustrating when you try to explain how quickly time passes, but they just don't seem to care. You see so much more potential in them than they can see in themselves. Valuing the present is important, but that doesn't mean ignoring future goals. What we do now directly impacts who we will become later. True fulfillment comes from using our natural and learned talents to improve our lives. These individuals have skills in various areas, but the issue lies in putting those skills into practice. Often, they know what they should do, but they lack the initiative to act. They become dependent on others for help or on motivational videos that they watch repeatedly without actually breaking the cycle of procrastination. Staying in this state keeps them stuck and unable to move forward. Ancient thinkers understood that working towards a better life helps avoid being overwhelmed by negative feelings. Anxiety, for example, is one of those feelings that can hinder those seeking happiness and success, something that was highly valued by ancient philosophers. Number 6, people who always see the glass as half empty. Some people seem to only focus on the negative side of everything. Unlike the Stoics, who faced challenges calmly and were grateful for tough times, it's healthy to recognize both the good and the bad moments in life. We all go through difficult days and feel emotions like anger and sadness. However, focusing solely on the negatives prevents us from seeing the good around us. This only increases dissatisfaction and blocks our ability to appreciate life's positives. It's common to face a bad situation before something good happens. If you only see the negative side, you get trapped in an endless cycle of pessimism where there's no hope or motivation. Some people seem to specialize in negativity, and helping them can be frustrating, as each proposed solution is quickly replaced by a new problem. Their constant negativity can drain your energy, like watching a news broadcast filled only with bad news. After several attempts to help, you start to wonder if these people really want a solution, or if they prefer to keep complaining and seeking attention. It seems like they have a relationship with their problems, as if being without them would leave them feeling purposeless. They always talk about the same difficulties: lack of money, family arguments, workplace issues, or relationship troubles. So the question is, can you really make a difference in the life of someone who only complains and genuinely wants help? Maybe the best option is to not even try. To maintain a positive attitude and preserve your own energy, it might be more productive to let these people find their own answers. Instead, focus your attention on those who truly value your advice and want to change. Otherwise, you risk becoming just as negative as the person you tried to help without even realizing it. Number 7, people who rarely take responsibility for their mistakes. These people tend to blame others and avoid looking inward, which goes against the idea that we should focus on how we react to situations instead of blaming external events. Failing to take care of one's reactions can lead to a jumble of feelings and a more stressful life. How can you help someone who always blames others for their problems and refuses to admit their own mistakes? If a person doesn't recognize their flaws, they're unlikely to try to improve, because they believe they're already doing everything right and don't need to change. Some individuals are always pointing out others' mistakes, either because they can't see their own errors or because they prefer to ignore them. They tend to blame others for their lack of friends, health issues, or even missed job opportunities, never reflecting on their own responsibility. Sometimes the best way to help these people is to allow life to teach them. Over time, they may come to realize that the real reason for their difficulties lies within themselves. These people are always looking for someone to blame instead of examining their own actions. This behavior not only hinders their personal growth, but can also impact the relationships around them. When someone refuses to admit their mistakes, they create an environment of distrust and lack of empathy, making coexistence difficult. In Stoicism, we are encouraged to focus on what we can control, and the only thing we have complete control over is our own reactions and attitudes. If someone doesn't acknowledge their mistakes, how can we expect them to grow? The most effective help we can offer is often to stop trying to correct these individuals and allow them to face the consequences of their actions. Instead of condoning irresponsibility, we can gently suggest they reflect on their behaviors and choices. Over time, life usually shows that taking responsibility is an inevitable path to growth. Moreover, when we own our mistakes, we create a foundation of trust, respect, and maturity in our relationships. Number 8, people who expect the world to revolve around them. Some people think that the world should fulfill all their desires. They believe they are special just for existing. However, Stoic teachings remind us that we should live in harmony with the world and others, understanding that respect and rewards must be earned, not given freely. Often, well-meaning individuals try to help these people see reality more clearly, but this effort is not always appreciated. In some cases, they may even feel attacked. Certain individuals think that because they are attractive or charismatic, they deserve favors from others. This mindset makes it hard to assist these individuals, as they often end up taking advantage of those who try to support them. They feel entitled to special attention when things don't go their way. And even when helped, they may act ungrateful or manipulative. They will likely only recognize the need for change when they face the same behaviors they show to others. Some people believe the world owes them something simply because they are present. This attitude can lead to frustration when things don't go as they wish. Instead of working for their achievements, they expect others to do the hard work for them. This can manifest in behaviors like expecting family, friends, or even co-workers to take on responsibilities that are theirs. However, Stoicism teaches us that it's important to accept the world as it is, not how we wish it to be. Respect, friendship, and love are built on genuine actions, not unfounded expectations. A truly happy and fulfilling life can only be achieved through effort, humility, and acceptance that the world is not here to serve us. Helping these people can be complicated. Often they are not open to change and exploit the goodwill of those who try to offer support. In these cases, a healthier solution may be to set clear boundaries. By doing this, we are actually helping them understand that they need to work for what they want. This also prevents us from becoming emotionally drained by trying to shoulder responsibilities that are not ours. Individuals who resist learning and changing. Stoicism encourages us to look within ourselves and strive for constant improvement. However, some people resist recognizing their flaws and prefer to stay as they are, often blaming others for their problems. Helping them can be a challenging task, as they are not open to advice or constructive criticism. For example, Christian never admits he's wrong, even when it's obvious, as he always finds someone else to blame. Gabi receives feedback at work on how to improve, but ignores it, thinking she knows everything. Gabriel struggles in his relationships but believes the problem is always the other person, never considering his own behavior. Victoria repeatedly faces financial problems, but instead of trying to save or plan her spending better, she blames her low-paying job. Resistance to change is a common barrier to personal growth. We all feel fear or insecurity when thinking about changing our attitudes or acknowledging our flaws at some point. However, the key to personal development lies in embracing change and using each failure as an opportunity to improve. In Stoicism, we learn that true strength comes from becoming better each day, whether by correcting bad habits or learning from our experiences. When someone doesn't want to learn or change, they remain trapped in a repetitive cycle of frustration, making the same mistakes and blaming external circumstances. It's important to understand that despite our good intentions, it's not always possible to help those who don't want to be helped. Insisting on giving advice to someone who refuses to listen can be exhausting and frustrating. Often, it's more effective to give these individuals space to face their own challenges and eventually seek change on their own. For those willing to grow, accepting constructive feedback and learning from failures is a powerful way to evolve. By embracing this mindset, we move closer to a fuller life filled with balance and self-awareness. In such cases, it may be wiser to let these people solve their problems alone without constant interference. Stoicism reminds us of the importance of taking responsibility for our actions and building solid relationships. By following these principles, we can strive for a more fulfilling and meaningful life. If you enjoyed this video and connected with the messages discussed here, please comment gratitude so we know you made it this far. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here, give it a thumbs up, and share this video with friends and family who might benefit from this content. By following the path of Stoicism, you'll be learning to live a fuller life with more serenity and purpose.